Please turn off your cell phones, pagers, and watch alarms.
You're listening to Halftime Halfwits, the internet's worst sports podcast.
What is up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Halftime Halfwits. It's your boy Sully.
And it's Weston.
And we're going to talk about the UFC that just happened this past week. Today is November 30th. 28th was Saturday.
Yeah, 28th was Saturday.
And that was a very, very interesting card.
It was a cool UFC fight just because, one, us being from Johnson City, Tennessee, we don't have a lot of fighters come out of this area.
Or professional athletes in general.
Yeah, just athletes in general, but especially like fighters. But a guy from our hometown, or not hometown, but the town that we currently live in, College Town, JSP, Jonathan Pierce, got that dub.
Yep, he got the TKO over Kai Koamaka.
Second round.
Yep, he was a tough Hawaiian, and the JC boy, he got it done.
I remember being at a Bristol race at Bristol Motor Speedway with a couple of my buddies, and there was a Bellator fight outside. They were like Bellator, and I guess NASCAR had like sponsored or
back when JSP was fighting in Bellator.
Yeah, and that was when he was in Bellator. And I remember it was outside in the blazing sun. You know, it was like 95 degrees outside. It was hot as shit, no shade. And he knocks the fuck out of some dude. And him and his like manager walking back to the stage, or walking back to their tent. And my buddy Jamie, shout out Jamie, was like, JSP, remember me? And he was like, holy shit. He's like, you're the dude that was rapping outside of Holy Taco. Holy Taco is a bar that's in Johnson City.
Yep, that's a local guy. You already know. That's super awesome that he's made it to the UFC. That's the main league in fighting. He's in it now, and he's 1-1. He lost his first fight.
Lost his debut.
But he's his record's 10-4. So now he's 1-1 in the UFC, but he's 10-4 overall.
He won his Contender Series fight. That's how he originally got into it. And it's cool. There's a couple other guys from around this area, from Clarkville, Tennessee, and Knoxville. I know there's one guy that fights out of Knoxville. It's just cool seeing people close to where you're from do good, especially when that's not a common thing around here.
No, I mean, really shout out to him. He's gonna do some big things. There's other fighters talking about Jonathan, and they're saying that. Yeah, he's a force to be reckoned with. He's a featherweight, so he's fighting at 145, and he's just getting started. He's young. He's still in his prime, and he's ready to go.
Yeah, but moving up the ladder, we're going to be talking about, it was a women's bantamweight match. Ashley Evans-Smith versus Norma Dumont. To be 100% honest, I don't remember watching this fight.
Yeah, we watched it, but it was, I mean...
It was rather uneventful, I guess. I mean, I didn't really...
At the same time, we had two screens going, and we were watching the Mike Tyson, Roy Jones Jr., and Jake Paul and Nate Robinson boxing match. So we were watching two at the same time, but...
That is true.
But we noticed most of the crazy things that happened that night.
It went to decision, and Norma Dumont ended up taking it home.
Now
decision round 3.
She's 5-1. She beat Ashley was 6-5. So Norma's obviously looking better. So she might get some higher competitors in her division, she's a bantamweight for women.
Moving on up, Spike Carlisle and Bill Algeo.
That one, that's another featherweight bout, and that one also went to a decision. So I mean, decision fights they can be entertaining. At the same time, they can be the most boring, just because there's not a whole lot of action a lot of times. But
what is Spike Carlisle's nickname? Like the Super Ginger. Or something?
Yeah, something like that. He's
got crazy red hair.
His hair is so red. I thought his head was bleeding, and it got a little closer, and I was like, oh no, that's just his red scalp. But
yeah, he's super ginger. I think that's his name. I don't remember if he won his last fight or not. He's 9-3, but yeah, he didn't win this one. Bill
Algeo took that one. He's 14-5 at this point.
Then, moving up again, it was a heavyweight battle. Parker Porter and Josh Parson.
Yeah, just
I think
Parson.
Parson. Not sure.
I'm gonna lie. I expected Josh to win that fight, just because I mean I remember watching him fight in the Contender Series, and it was an absolute bloodbath. He just destroyed somebody.
Yeah, I've seen highlights of him, but I remember watching a fight that Parker Porter fought in recently, and
Parker Porter is good too. I won't take
he,
anything away from him.
He throws hands. He was in there. He was slinging. He wasn't backing down. And I mean,
they both have similar records too. Josh is 13-4 and Parker's 11-6. I mean, they're both pretty evenly matched.
Heavyweights.
Yeah, they're the big boys.
They went to decision, and by late round 2, round 3, they're gassed.
Yeah, that's when Josh started to lose. It was end of round 2.
You got to have high endurance, especially at heavyweight. You're sitting anywhere from 225 to 260, I guess. That's the limit there.
Yeah.
I wish there was a super heavy.
Yeah, I don't think Dana White wants to make any other more divisions. I saw a reporter asked him, so what do you think about adding divisions to men and women? He's like, no, absolutely not, no. Next question.
I think he should add, if anything, if he says he has to take anything away to add something, I want him to take away the 125 belt and put in a 165. I just think that would make more sense.
It could,
People could cut weight to that more easily, and
that would make a lot of divisions fluctuate.
Yeah, but it would also be interesting just because you would have fighters from say light heavy, or not light heavy.
They could. They could go all the way. They could go down 2 to 3 divisions if they want.
But a realistic where they wouldn't have to cut a lot or anything, you know what I mean? If cut any, if not bulk, any of that, you know what I mean? But just think middleweight, they go down from 180 to, or is it 180 or 185?
185.
If they go down from 185, cut down to 165. That's a big motherfucker.
Yeah.
That's a Izzy Adesanya about to fuck you up.
Yeah, I mean they can. Those guys, that's the thing. They're professionals and they're expected to be able to cut weight like they do. And the guys that don't, and that's why people like Israel Adesanya get upset, because these guys are not even bothering cutting weight and they're only having 20% of their pay cut or whatever.
I think it's 30.
30, but yeah, Israel Adesanya is saying make it something like 80% of your pay is given to the other guy if you don't make weight.
Yeah. So that's like Mike Perry in the most recent fight. He fought not this past weekend, 2 weekends ago. Fought Tim Means. Tim Means ended up winning. Mike Perry missed weight by
6 pounds.
Yeah, it was 4 to 6 pounds. I don't remember the exact amount there. 4 to 6, and Izzy was pissed about it because I think that's his weight division.
Yeah,
it might be a little lower, but still, Izzy was pissed about it. But he was just like, it's literally your duty as a fighter. You choose.
It's your responsibility. If you're a professional, it's your responsibility to act and perform as a professional.
You're supposed to, that's in the contract you sign. You sign up for that shit.
You're in that weight division to make that weight, not to come in 5 pounds over and kick that guy's ass. And then expect to get the full amount of money. That's not. Yeah. It's not how it happens. You do get money deducted from your pay, but it should be a lot more, like Israel Adesanya said.
And a lot of these guys,
50% would be even more correct, than what it is now.
And a lot of these guys aren't making a whole lot of money on these fights. You'll see the big name people. You'll talk about the Khabibs and the John Jones and the Conor McGregors and the Cerrones.
Yeah, they make millions on their fights.
Those big dudes. Yeah, they're close to $1-2 million a fight, maybe a little less. Maybe $750K, which is still a fuck ton. But then you get these guys that we're talking about right now, like the JSP and the.
Yeah, he probably got
got $50K for winning.
I bet his final pay was because just for fighting they get paid 15 to 20, and for winning, and just you compete, you get money. For winning, you get more money. So he probably got $65,000.
Yeah, and every bonus that they give out per fight, you'll have fight of the night, you'll have performance of the night,
Yeah, and that can go to multiple different fights. Like, you can have 2 performances of the night. But
knockout of the nut.
Yeah.
Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But all these guys, you only see the big name guys on the pay-per-view fights, on the UFC 255s and the numbered cards, not on any of these UFC Apex Fight Night cards. I mean,
these are the free ones that no one has to pay for that you can watch, and these guys don't get paid near as much as the pay-per-view.
But that's what makes it a lot more entertaining, because they're trying to fucking make that much money, and they're out there slugging.
Yeah, all these guys, if you're on a fight night, it's not normally going to be for a belt. They've done belt fights on fight nights, but that's not common. They do that just for like a treat for people that never buy fights.
This would have been for the number 1 contender spot in the heavyweight division.
Yeah.
Derek Lewis and Curtis Blades.
Yeah, that would have been awesome.
It had to be cut short because Curtis Blades had COVID. Damn, dude.
I mean, that
fight would have been crazy. 2020 shitty.
Hey, but at least UFC has came through in 2020, and they have been the sport to provide the most content for anyone out of any other sport. Football, baseball, basketball, anything. UFC started back during COVID first.
That's what I love about the UFC, is that there's no off season. It's a continuous thing all year round. Whereas
baseball,
any sport has an off season. I mean,
football has a big off season.
They all have a big off season. It's crazy to think that the NBA's off season was only like 2 months, if that.
Yeah.
Now, because they got, I think their spring training. That's baseball. I think their preseason. I was about to say preseason.
Oh yeah, that's gonna start soon.
Their preseason starts like on the 11th of December. It's like 2 weeks.
Yeah,
it's gonna be coming up fast.
I'm just glad we have sports back.
That is true.
During the midst of COVID, we didn't have honestly any sports. We didn't know what was going on.
Dana didn't want to shut that shit down though.
That's why he started Fight Island, and now the United States has started letting teams play again. So that's why he's been doing stuff back in the UFC Apex, but he still has Fight Island. Yeah.
They're going back. McGregor and Poirier is going to be on Fight Island.
Yeah, it's gonna be dope.
100%. But let's talk a little bit more about this card. There were 2 more fights that we were going to talk about, or that were on this card that we're going to talk about. Miguel Baeza,
yeah.
And Takashi Sato. And Baeza won 2nd round submission. That was a pretty wicked submission.
Yeah, it was gnarly, but Baeza, he's 10-0 right now.
Yeah, he's undefeated. It was literally one submission attempt. It got it. That's all I needed.
That's someone that's obviously just way more experienced on the ground. Like Demetrius Johnson threw that flying armbar.
Yeah,
no one's ever seen that before. I assume the guy that got put in had no idea what even happened.
Oh, I remember what you were talking about. Yeah. When he was like crawling on his back, and that guy.
No, Demetrius picked him up to suplex him, and then on the way down, that guy, he was slinging him to the ground, and he grabbed his arm. And as soon as he hit the ground, he threw him in that armbar.
Jeez. I've seen the video of that. I just didn't 100% remember what it was.
I understand the ground game is a different language than stand-up fighting.
That's what I mean.
So if you have just modern experience in the ground game, you're going to get worked by somebody that's been doing jiu-jitsu and rolling their entire life.
That's what we were watching that boxing match the other night. I was telling Sullivan that I think I would rather be in the UFC over boxing, just because, or no, what was it we were talking about? He said, do you think your brother could beat you up? And I'm not gonna lie, my brother's a pretty big dude. He's taller than I am. So
what'd you say? You said you could take him in.
I said in boxing probably not, but if we went to UFC, I think I could do it just because of ground game.
Yeah, that's really all it takes.
All I would have to do.
It's a different sport. It's a completely different sport.
He's only like an inch taller than me. Wingspan's probably about the same. All I gotta do is just take him to the ground.
Yeah,
get on him, dude.
Boxing's hands, and UFC's pretty much everything. Mm-hmm. Except obviously, illegal crotch shots and eye gouging.
Yeah, you can't really do that.
But everything else, it's
pulling hair. You can't pull hair.
Yeah, obviously none of that. But leg kicks, choking out, that's all fair game.
All fair game.
That's something you might have more experience in.
It's like gladiator shit almost.
It really is. The UFC fighters are modern day gladiators. When they sign their contracts, they sign away their life to get in there in that octagon.
That's what.
So they can't sue the UFC if they end up dying, because people can die in that.
That's what Izzy was like against Gaslam.
Yeah, he was going in the last round, and the ref asked if he was ready, and he said he was prepared to die. I mean, if that's not gladiator shit, then I don't know what is.
It's pretty dope.
And you don't see basketball players saying that.
But then, just speaking of like some more submissions and just ground game and all of that shit, the main event, which was actually supposed to be the co-main, Anthony Smith versus Devin Clark. Anthony Smith, proven UFC vet, fought in the championship, fought in title fights, didn't get it apparently.
He's went downhill since he fought for that title.
He has. I mean, he fought for the title. He lost. He fought somebody else after. Alexander Gustafsson, maybe. I think he fought him after.
Oh, it was Glover Teixeira, and Glover destroyed him.
Glover, yeah, I remember that one. Glover won.
Glover was talking in his ear in the last round. He's like, "Sorry, Anthony.
Yeah,
it's just business." And Anthony is talking back to him while getting punched in the face. And he's like, "Oh man, I understand."
He's like, "What?"
He's like, "It is what it is." It's actually, I think that's word for word he said.
Yeah, Anthony Smith is a good dude.
I mean, they all know that a lot of these guys look at UFC as a sport. They don't look at it as beating the shit out of each other, and then they're in there to compete and show their skill sets.
Did you know Anthony Smith saved his family from a robber?
No, I'm not surprised though. He looked like somebody that could destroy a robber.
I don't know if he got shot or like he took down the gunman or what, but he ended up completely like just the gunman like came into his house, or a robber came in his house, and Anthony Smith shut that shit down. Kind of like he did in this main event.
Yeah, he got that submission. What is it, an armbar?
No, it was a triangle.
Triangle from the ground, from the bottom. That's what it was.
Triangle choke from the bottom. He was fighting Devin Clark, who is, I mean, he shows a lot of promise.
He's new.
That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah,
he's definitely new. This might be his third fight in the UFC or fourth. It's not. He hadn't had many.
He's done very well this year, in particular, early 2020. I think he had fought 4 times in 2020.
No.
I don't.
Kevin Holland has that record for the most fights in 2020. And it's 4? 3 right now. He was going to have 4, but still, he still got it at 3.
Oh, well, maybe it was 3. Maybe they went into 2019 anyway. I don't remember. But maybe it's 4 professional or 4 UFC fights overall. But anyway, it didn't matter. I mean,
Anthony Smith's experience just overpowered him. What round was it?
It was the first round. 2 minutes into the first round.
I mean, that's like a old dog getting in the ring with a pretty young pup.
It was kind of surprising, because I figured that Anthony Smith was gonna stand up and box with him, but I honestly don't know if he thought he could take it. I mean, Devin Clark threw that massive hit. He as soon as the fight started, threw a right hand, hit him with that massive right hand. It stunned Anthony. They got into the clinch, and then Anthony just landed a nice takedown and just took it from there.
Yeah, it didn't take long after that. It was only, 2 minutes, 34 seconds?
Yeah, 2 minutes, 34 seconds, first round. And Anthony Smith said, "I'm not fucking going anywhere."
Yep.
He wants that belt, especially now that it's vacant. Oh, it's not vacant, but
he's going to have to
has it.
Oh, he's going to have to fight some interesting people to try even get there, and he's going to have to win. Glover is someone that actually deserves a chance, because he's won his past 5, and he's had some tough opponents. Dana's just been trying to find someone to take Glover down so he can get him out of that talk, because he's old. And Dana knows that's what he's doing. And it hadn't happened. He took out Thiago Santos, and Glover said, "I'm not going anywhere."
Took out Anthony Smith.
Yeah, dude. I mean, Glover needs a shot way before anyone else, honestly.
What was that other guy's name? The other foreign guy?
Oh, yeah. I guess it was Nikita Kirov.
Yeah, I think I remember that. He also fought Kuntalaba. He won that fight. Fought Carl Robertson. Won that fight.
Ian Kuntalaba's had a rough time. He lost his last fight in a brutal knockout versus that Russian guy with the giant nose.
Makhachev.
Yeah.
I don't think it was Makhachev. What was that guy's name?
I don't know. I'm not good
Abraham Lincoln's what he looks like.
He looks like Abraham Lincoln with the giant nose, but he's super skinny. And
He
looks like a Russian that could rip anyone's head off their shoulders.
Well, he fucked him up.
Yeah, poor Ian Kutalaba.
KO'd him. And then, another one of his knockouts, I don't know if y'all have seen that. He did a front kick right to the guy's fucking jaw.
Oof.
Put him to sleep. Looked like a crow cop kick. It was nice. But the main event of this fight ended up being the Smith versus Clark, but it was supposed to be Curtis Blades versus Derek Lewis for the number 1 contender spot.
That would have been a way more entertaining fight for the fans.
We were so fucking excited for it, dude, and then they were just like, nah, it's off.
COVID.
I mean, it was Blades ended up getting COVID.
Yeah, it was Blades.
And they ended up calling the fight. But they're trying to reschedule that fight, get it booked for December. So hopefully we get some action in that.
Yeah, just before the end of the year.
Yeah, dude, that would be so nice. I would love for that to happen. Because, I was so pumped for that fight. And then they call it 3 days in advance.
Yeah, it's a shame, but it'll come. It'll come soon enough. But, guys, I guess this is probably the end of this episode, but y'all should tune in to the next episode of the Halftime Halfwits.
Yeah, we'll talk to y'all later. Peace.
Cheers.